Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Cowboys Micah Parsons gets major $225 million contract update. The Dallas Cowboys had a few needs during the offseason and accomplished one of them earlier in the week by trading for George Pickens of the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, the Cowboys need to make their players happy, and with Micah Parsons still not signed to a long-term extension, it doesn't make much sense. As one of the NFL's top edge rushers, Parsons has earned a contract that pays him like one. Predicting contracts around the NFL, Kurt Benkert, a former NFL quarterback, predicted that Parsons would land a $225 million deal on a Bleacher Report YouTube video. Give me a 5-year, $225 million contract. I think Micah Parsons is the best Dallas Cowboys football player, and he deserves to be paid like it, Benkert said. If you can pay Dak Prescott $60 million a year, who is injury-prone, you can pay Micah Parsons $45 million a year in his prime. Looking at contract situations around the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys are one of the few remaining teams that still need to resolve something with their top player. However, Joel Corey of CBS Sports believes that Parsons' waiting and the Cowboys' lack of urgency to get a deal done will ultimately help him in the long run. Good things come to those who wait will seemingly apply to Dallas Cowboys edge rusher Micah Parsons. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones appears to be following the same blueprint as last year when Dallas dragged its feet on signing wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and Prescott to new contracts. Lamb didn't get his 4-year, $136 million contract extension until August during the latter part of the preseason. Prescott's 4-year, $240 million extension to become the NFL's first and only $60 million per year player didn't come until September, hours before Dallas' regular season opener, he wrote. Jerry Jones has continued to do the wrong things for the Cowboys, and not giving Parsons as much money as he's looking for is one of them. He could wait until it's the exact time to give him a deal, but that price will only go up, and will only make his star player unhappy. When speaking to reporters about his contract situation, the Dallas Cowboys have been lucky that Parsons has been as professional as he's been. He hasn't threatened to sit out games, but he did say he wants a deal done before training camp. Parsons noted that players struggle if they don't practice during training camp, and the last thing he wants is for the Dallas Cowboys to get off to a slow start because of that. Extremely important, Parsons said, per BR you really see a lot of players struggle when guys aren't participating in camp, and they get off to slow starts. I don't want to get off to no slow start. I want to hit the ground running. The ball is in Jones' court now, and if he wants to win at the highest level, which always needs to be the case for a team of the Cowboys' status, extending Parsons has to be in his plans. Dallas Cowboys got a major steal during the offseason. Now that the NFL draft has wrapped up, there's been plenty of analysis about the Dallas Cowboys 2025 draft class, and a lot of it is good. In particular, one player that the Cowboys lapped up later in the draft is getting attention for being a major steal. It was a head-scratcher that this player wasn't picked up sooner, but seeing him go to the Cowboys in the 4th round was big enough to make one NFL expert and analyst name him as his favorite pick of the entire draft. In a May 9th feature for ESPN, a panel of experts discussed some of the biggest moments of the draft. We asked more than a dozen of our NFL experts to weigh in with their opinions on everything that went down in Green Bay, they note in the feature. In the piece, Seth Walder says his favorite pick of the draft is edge rusher Donovan Ezeruaku going to the Cowboys. My sack model had Ezeruaku essentially tied with James Pierce Jr. for the 3rd best forecast in the class, he states in the piece. Despite not playing for an elite team in college, which can sometimes boost a player's sack numbers, he racked up 16.5 sacks in 2024. Dallas only had to use a 2nd-round pick to get him. So, now we wait to see what Ezeruaku can bring to the table come September. The 2025 season may seem like forever from now, but it's less than 4 months away. The NFL season will begin with the NFL kickoff game on Thursday, September 4th. One of the bright spots for the Dallas Cowboys is their solid franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott, which is one of the reasons why it hit the team so hard in 2025 when he was injured and out for the majority of the season. But Prescott has been rehabbing and should be ready to be back with the team in full force come September. Prescott is on a massive deal with the Cowboys in 2024, inking a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys, including $80 signing bonus and $231 guaranteed. In a May 9 article for Bleacher Report, Brad Gagnon looks at each team's urgency after 2025 NFL Draft to land a solid quarterback. For methodology, he looked mainly at age, trajectory, experience, contract, injury history, and the state of the team. In the feature, he names some prime candidates to pursue a new franchise quarterback next offseason, if not sooner. The Cowboys are actually on the opposite end of the spectrum. He names the Cowboys as a team that's probably not in the market for a quarterback until 2027 or later. In the piece, Gagnon says that Dak Prescott is unreliable and not cut out to lead them deep into the playoffs, but they're pretty much handcuffed to him for the next 2 years. Obviously, everyone has their opinions, but it sounds a bit harsh to call Prescott unreliable when he hasn't always been given the tools he needs on the field. Regardless, Prescott is here to stay. Cowboys named trade suitor for underwhelming tight end. With one move this offseason, the Dallas Cowboys established one of the most balanced passing attacks for the Dak Prescott-led offense. Acquiring deep threat receiver George Pickens to pair opposite of the rangy All-Pro CeeDee Lamb will do wonders for Dallas' versatility through the air. This move also hopes to open up space for promising tight end Jake Ferguson, who thrives on opportunities in the middle of the field. As exciting as this formula looks on paper for 2025, the Cowboys could be moved to think long-term with how they construct their pass-catching arsenal. Lamb is locked in with Dallas for a while, and many expect the organization to extend Pickens' contract if all goes well this season. Ferguson is up for a new contract next offseason, but he might be considered a more uncertain puzzle piece after a forgetful 2024 campaign and Dallas' busy plans for player contracts in 2026. These factors lead Anthony Palacios of Last Word on Sports to believe the Cowboys could be in the market to trade for a tight end to shore up their passing game for the future. The Dallas Cowboys got a wide receiver to help star CeeDee Lamb in the aerial attack after trading for George Pickens. This new duo could reach new heights, but they can't ignore the tight end department. Jake Ferguson is entering the final year of his contract, and he's on the hot seat this season after missing a few games last campaign. Fant could fill the hole if they can't retain Ferguson due to cap issues, Palacios wrote. Their target in this proposal would be Seattle Seahawks tight end Noah Fant, a former first-round pick of the Denver Broncos in 2019 who landed in Seattle after the 2022 trade that included Russell Wilson. Palacios claims that Seattle drafting tight end Elijah Arroyo this offseason points to them potentially not including Fant in future roster plans, which would put him on the trade block after an otherwise underwhelming career to this point. For the Cowboys, while the idea's reasoning pertains to Ferguson's expiring contract, Fant also happens to be entering the final year of his current deal in 2025, so Dallas would basically have to choose between Fant or Ferguson if they can't keep them both. After this season, there are no guarantees either way. Dallas would be forced to extend Fant's contract to avoid an inefficient 1-year rental if the trade were to happen. And you, fan? What do you think about Noah Fant's situation? Write to us in the comments.